guys, welcome to my channel, and I am your host Pabitra Kumar Sikdar. Working as an Azure Cloud Engineer at Microsoft, we'll be starting a new series called as az-104. And today, my first topic to discuss on this will be configure Microsoft Entra ID. So let me start. The first thing is, what is Microsoft Entra ID? So it is a cloud-based directory and identity management service that facilitates user access to various resources and applications. So Microsoft Entra ID generally helps you with all the sorts of access-related things like who needs access to what level of access is needed, and till when it is needed, and then if they have left the organization, then they should be removed from those access. So it is a directory service used to manage all sorts of access related stuffs. Next thing which I want to discuss is what all things will be covered in this learning today. So define key Microsoft Entra ID concepts, including identities, accounts, and tenants. Describe Microsoft Entra ID features and their support for various configurations. Understand the difference between Microsoft Entra ID and Active Directory domain services. Choose the appropriate edition for Microsoft Entra ID. Implement the Microsoft Entra join feature and utilize the Microsoft Entra self-service password reset feature. So these all things will be covered, and I have taken these things straight away from the syllabus of AZ104. So if you go through this, then configure Microsoft Entra ID will be covered. So I want to discuss more on like what is the benefits of using Microsoft Entra ID. So the very first one is Microsoft Entra ID supports user access to wide range of resources and applications, including internal, external, and cloud-based. It offers features like single sign-on, ubiquitous device support, secure remote access, cloud extensibility, sensitive data protection, and self-service support. Going on to the next slide. Things to consider for Microsoft Entra features. So there will be some requirements, and why do you need Microsoft Entra? I'll be explaining that. So the first one is enable SSO access for users, which works for cloud and on-premises apps. So if this is a requirement, you can select Microsoft Entra ID. Second one is focus on user experience and device support, offering a consistent user interface. So it enhances the user experience because it is very seamless to manage and take hold of access permissions in Microsoft Entra. The next one is enhance security with secure remote access and multi-factor authentication. So if you want to enhance your security, if you are accessing remote access and you feel that the security should be enhanced, then Microsoft Entra is offering that feature. And for multi-factor authentication, you know, it is very important to have multi-factor authentication, and Microsoft Entra provides that feature. Like you can get an OTP to your email address or a mobile number, and then you will be able to access it. So it's a very good feature, and it's bundled up with Microsoft Entra. And if you have such requirement to implement MFA, then you can consider Microsoft Entra. Next is leverage cloud extensibility for managing users and devices across the environments. And then followed by utilize advanced features, security features to protect sensitive data and apps. And the last one is if you have to implement self-service options to reduce cost and enhance security. This is one of the very good service which even I personally like. Like users can self reset their password if they have forgot, and it reduces the time to create tickets with the administrator so that they can have a ticket and then they can go ahead and reset the password. That also again needs approvals and all. It's a very big process, but it solves it. So Microsoft Entra is actually covering up these requirements. If you have, then you can do consider Microsoft Entra in your environment. Going to the next slide, here I'm talking about Microsoft Entra's main concept. So the key components include identity, account, Microsoft Entra account, Azure tenant, that is directory, and Azure subscription. Microsoft Entra ID is designed for internet-based applications supporting HTTP and HTTPS communications. Moving on to the next slide. So this is a very good part, like you guys have to put more concentration to comparing ADDS to Microsoft Entra. So Microsoft already had a directory service that is called ADDS, Active Directory Domain Services. And now since Microsoft has introduced Microsoft Entra ID, so I'm comparing this, and this will be very commonly asked questions in interviews as well. So I'll ask you guys to make a note of it and do follow this part very carefully. So ADDS, that is Active Directory Domain Services, is a Windows server-based directory services, whereas Microsoft Entra ID is it is a full identity solution designed for internet-based application. Okay, this is the first difference between ADDS. So ADDS was hosted on a Windows server. You have to install it as a role, and then you can manage that server as a domain server and control all these things. But now Microsoft Entra is designed completely based on like all the internet based. So it is way different than what the traditional Azure Active Directory, Active Directory domain service was. The next difference is Microsoft Entra ID doesn't. Yeah. So the next difference is Microsoft Entra ID doesn't use Kerberos authentication, which was used by ADDS earlier. So it uses HTTP and HTTPS protocol for authentication and authorization. So this is the next difference. The third one is ADDS is deployed on a physical or a virtual server, as I told earlier on the first point, right? Like it has to be deployed on a physical or a virtual server, whereas Microsoft Entra ID is a managed service. So it is on the portal. You can use it. So it doesn't need any physical server or a virtual machine to be installed to and then use that service. So it's free to use in an internet based. It will be there in the portal and you can use Microsoft Entra. So yeah, this I have configured the difference between ADDS and Microsoft Entra ID. And next, let me go to another slide. So yeah, so I'll say that there are different editions of Entra, Microsoft Entra. So you can just have a look at it. What all things are covered and what all things are not. Uh, it's uh, it's basically to know about what you get for what you are opting for. So the slides explain about that. But I'll now next go to Microsoft Entra Edition details. So these are the details. These are the things if you purchase and what you are getting out of it. So Microsoft Entra ID Free is there. Microsoft 365 is there. Then Microsoft Entra ID P1 is there. Microsoft Entra ID P2 is there. So you can just quickly go through them. What all things are included in that. I'll just let you take a screenshot of it or make a note of it. So yeah, that's it. So now let me go on to the next topic, which is implementing Microsoft Entra Join. So what Microsoft Entra Join here means, like you can see a diagram I'm showing here. So Microsoft Entra ID enables single sign-on SSA for devices, applications, and services. So and the benefits of joint devices include SSO access, enterprise state roaming, Windows Hello, access restrictions, and seamless access to on-premise resources. You can choose to register or join your device to Microsoft Entra ID. So here, if you join your devices to Microsoft Entra, so these are the benefits. So if you're using any services on premises or any devices on premises, you can take benefits of all these things: Windows Hello, access restrictions, and seamless access to on premises resources as well. Now, let me go to things to consider when using joint devices. So what all things you have to consider before joining the devices. So the very first one is when implementing joint devices in your organization, consider these key configuration points, which are like connection options. Choose between two methods to connect devices to Microsoft Entra. A, register your device. Registering a device provides it with an identity for authentication in Microsoft Entra ID, allowing you to manage the device identity. It used for enabling or disabling the device. Join your device. Joining extends the benefits of device registration and changes the device local state. Users can sign in using their work or school account instead of personal one. Then combining solutions. Enhance device management by combining registration with a mobile device management (MDM) solution like Microsoft Intune. This allows for additional device attributes in Microsoft Entra ID and enables the creation of conditional access rules to meet security and compliance standards. Then implementation scenarios. While Active Directory join is designed for organizations with on-premises Windows Server Active Directory, it can also be applied to other scenarios such as branches and offices. So these are the things you can consider before you join the devices. You can plan accordingly and do consider the joining. Then Microsoft Entra provides self-service and password resets. As I already discussed earlier, Microsoft Entra provides this feature where users can self-service and then reset their password. So this is one of the features I'm going to talk about. So Microsoft Entra self-service password reset (SSPR) allows users to reset their own passwords, reducing help desk calls. You know that, right? Like you have forgot your password and you raise a ticket and you wait a whole day to get your password reset done. But here you can simply do it by yourself. SSPR requires a Microsoft Entra account with global administrator privileges to manage options. So this is a requirement. You need a global. So to implement this change, any person who is adding or implementing this change in the Azure portal should have global administrator privileges to manage these options. So you can also control who can rest their passwords and configure authentication methods for security. So control also you have. Then you can so okay. So next slide is implementing Microsoft Entra self-service password reset. So you know, right? I've already talked about this. Microsoft Entra self-service password reset allows users to reset their own passwords, reducing the help desk calls. Now users can reset their own passwords if they have forgot, and no need to wait or spend their whole day raising a ticket and then get an approval and then the IT administrator changing the password. So this can be done by the user itself now with the Microsoft Entra self-service password reset feature. So person who is doing or implementing this feature in Azure portal, SSPI requires Microsoft Entra account with a global administrator privileges. So just keep this thing in your mind. Anybody who is implementing this change should have global administrator privileges to manage these options. And you can control who can reset their passwords and configure authentication methods for security. So this is the final thing. I have attached a screenshot which discusses the same thing. Now moving on to the next slide. Yes, this is what I like. I would like to discuss later, but let me just first talk about or show you something in the Azure portal, and then I'll come back to the this part. Okay. Yeah. So here I wanted to show you how does this Microsoft Entra ID looks in Azure portal. So you can see it shows name, ID, primary domain, license, and then so see here I'm using Microsoft Entra ID free, and many things are showing here. Like now I can see alerts here, Microsoft Entra Connect V1 retirement. All these alerts are showing me. It's usual when you log into your Microsoft Entra ID Blade in the Azure portal. So this one I was talking about, like how you can see Microsoft Entra. So Microsoft Entra is internet based, right? And it will be showing in the Azure portal. So this is how it looks. Then the next one which I was talking about was, let me go to where it is. Yeah, so this is the properties section where you can see the tenant ID, language, and all, and you can play around with access management of all the Azure resources. So right now, I've just selected it no. If I click it on yes, I can do more management and all stuffs. Then this is the place, user settings. So in the user settings, you can see I can control many things, like user can register applications, restrict non-user admins, users can create security groups, and then administrative portal, restrict users access to Microsoft Entra ID administrator portals, then allow users to connect to their work account, school with the LinkedIn and all. So these things you can manage here from user settings. Then when I come to password reset, this is the magic. This is where I was talking about self-service password resets. This feature includes a set of capabilities that allow users to manage any password from any device at any time, from any location, while remaining in compliance with the security policies or defined. So here you can do this. So it says get a free premium trial to use this feature. So I have to be subscribed to this premium trial so that I can use this feature. So this is not free. And why use self-service password reset? Because it reduces the cost. Support assisted password reset is typically 20% of the organization's IT spend, and I can totally relate to it. Anytime anybody forget their password, they will raise a IT ticket. So I have done that by myself, and I have waited a whole day, like half a day, to get my password reset done. So Microsoft Entra literally helps you with that problem. You can just reset your password by yourself. Improve user experience. Users don't want to call help desk and spend an hour on the phone every time they forget their passwords. That really improves the user experience, right? You never you have to rely on the phone call or an administrator to change your password. Lower help desk volume. Yes, password management is the single largest help desk driver for most organizations. Yes, so lots of cases or ticket management will be better. We will have less cases. And the final one is enable mobility. Users can reset their password from wherever they are on the go. So that is again some feature for Entra, right? So I can just simply click on get free premium trial, and I can get this feature activated. Then you have sign in logs. Here you can get all the logs, like who is trying to access what. If there is any failures, you can see under this part. Then you have audit logs. Again, it gives you all the, yeah. So again, if in come to audit logs, here you can see all the audits, like failure, success, from here, where who is trying to access what. Then provisioning logs, if you have provisioned any rules or something, you can see if it is failed or not. Then it is health, you can see the status, whether it is good or bad or something happened. You can monitor the health by authentication availability rate, month, you can see. You can click on log analytics. So this is currently not available to me. Uh, so log analytics integration is not enabled. If you have enabled that, then you can use this feature. Yeah, and at the end you have new support request. So if you face any issues or problem, you can raise a case from here. That's it from my side, guys, and I hopefully I was able to explain you about Microsoft Entra. So thank you, thanks for watching the video, and till the next time I create a new video. Bye. Hey guys, so now at the end of this video, again, I have covered almost all the topics now. So just wanted to know if you can answer this question. So here my first question for this quiz would be, which choice correctly describes Microsoft Entra ID? So these are the choices below. You can pick up any one of them and answer me on the comment below, and I will try to answer you saying that which one is the correct one. So the choices are: Microsoft Entra ID can be queried through LDAP. Microsoft Entra ID is primarily an identity solution. Microsoft Entra ID uses organizational units, OUs, and group policy objects, GPOs. So the answer which you feel correct, please comment them in the comment box below, and I'll be letting you know if that is correct or wrong. So let me proceed to the next question, if you're okay. Yeah, so the next question is, what term defines a dedicated and trusted instance of Microsoft Entra ID? And the choices are Azure Tenant, Identity, Microsoft Entra Account. So be very mindful while answering these questions. These are quite basic questions, and the answer should be very straightforward. If you have watched my video, you should be able to answer it. That would be my achievement if you can answer it correctly. So do let me know this question's answer on the comment box below, and I'll be happy to correct you or give you the correct answer. Thanks, guys. Moving on to the next question. This is, your users want to sign into devices, apps, and services from anywhere. Users want to sign in by using an organizational work or school account instead of a personal account. So, what would you prefer, or what would you do first? So the choices are: enable the devices in Microsoft Entra ID, or join the devices to Microsoft Entra ID, or finally register the device into register the device with Microsoft Entra ID. So which should be your answer? Do let me know in the comment box, and I would try to let you know if that is correct. And finally, I would say thank you guys for everything. It has been a wonderful session, and I hope you guys liked and enjoyed it. Thank you.